Man, that's hot. Happy Thursday, peoples. Good morning and happy Thursday. Hope y'all survived tax day yesterday. It was relatively painless for me. My wallet's a lot lighter, but it's only money. I can always make more. But hope everybody's doing well this morning. Let's see who we got hanging out with us today. We have Bart Bixel. Says, good morning from the northern left coast. My coffee's hot and tasty, as it should be, Bart. Good morning to you, sir. There's Janet, my favorite little spammer. Do you have the green check this morning, Janet? Just checking on you. Appreciate you, Janet. The coffee sessions wouldn't be the same without Janet. That's all I can say. I see we got Big D in the house. He says 69, raining, headed for 80, and sunny in this beautiful little town called Brooklyn. All righty. Good morning to you, Big D. Larry Gault's in the house. Good morning, folks. TGIT, I guess that would be thank goodness it's Thursday. Or some folks like to say Friday Eve. So Earl Walker's here, says morning everyone, 70 going to 82. Man, I tell you what, I would take 82 all day. It's going to be another scorcher here today. It's already it's probably already over 80 degrees out there now. Just come in a little while ago from the mailbox, so already toasty. Troy Pritchard's here this morning. How you doing, Troy? Earl Walker, good to see you. Paul Stewart says, hi, Bart, Dave, Larry, Earl, and Troy. Hope you're all well. Yeah, can't complain. Clyde LeBonnie's here. How you doing, Clyde? Good to see you. Steve Gronsky, 74, headed to 94 in Mustang, Oklahoma. Thumbs up, Dave. Appreciate it, Steve. Good to see you here on the coffee sessions. Hitch Hamilton from stormy Southwest Florida. How you doing this morning, Hitch? Good to see you. Kevin Els over there in South Africa. How you doing? Still got the construction stalled, looks like. Good to see you, Kevin. Look who's up this morning. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Javi's Woodshop. How you doing, Javi? Good to see you. Bill Hoffman's here this morning. How you doing, Bill? Good to see you. Kristina Pritchard says, good morning, everyone. And we got, let's see, did I already miss? I don't know if I did. I catch you, Stephen? I can't remember if I did or not. Good morning, Stephen. I see you down here, too. I just want to make sure I didn't skip you. Neil Cochran in the house. Doug Sis says, good morning, all. Daily therapy session. Yeah, okay. Some call it coffee sessions. You can call it a therapy session, whatever flips your switch there. Wild Bill Larison tuning in from Plainfield, Indiana, I assume. Good to see you, Bill. Another early bird here, Mark Lindsay CNC, 63. This morning, Southern Oregon, looking for a high of 99. Come on, man. That's just too hot. Tell them you got work to do, Mark. You don't have time for that hot temperature out there. George Ralphus is watching this morning. Good morning, my coffee friends, he says. Janet Moore says, that's why you're learning to print things. Okay. No green check today. Well, good. So you're not a spammer after all. That's good to know. Javi said he did his taxes way back in January. Yeah, I did too, but taxes are a yearly thing. There's stuff you got to do every so often. It's not fun. Oh, look at this blasphemous talk here. Who needs coffee? What are we gonna do with him? Dave liked the video. I put out a video this morning. If you haven't seen it, it's making another one of those. I showed you one I did yesterday. That was my test piece. I did this one yesterday. And I feel like I have to tell people, because you're probably going, why are the colors popping on it? Well, it's because it's old black and white photos. So there is no color. But I thought it turned out really good. But if you want to see how I did that, go check out the video. Chris Tackett's here this morning. How you doing, Chris? Let's see. Jerry Brown. It's hot. Going on hot. Yeah. Javi says it's 82 there. Should hit 90 max. Yeah. I'd be happy if it hit 90 and then stopped and didn't go any higher, but it's really thick. That's the best way to describe it. It's thick. You walk out there and it's like you can feel the air resistance when you're walking through it. It's just thick out there. While Bill Larison says it's overcast and comfortable in the pea patch. Good. I hope you're out there on your porch with some coffee. Hey, there's Jim Senecola. Rain here, and we needed it. Everything was brown. Yeah. Byron Sanders, morning all. Lazy week for me, feeling ashamed. No worries. Doc Whitaker's in the house. How you doing, Doc? He's over there on the Facebooks, as is Russ Meadows. How you doing, Russ? Good to see you. Michael Bell's here. The money, taxes, and printing. Yeah. No worries. Life is good down here in Gattonville, as some folks call it. No complaints. Mark says, I should have the new fence finished this morning. It's going to be in the high 90s through Monday. Yeah. Well, Mark, you're excused from the coffee session early because I know you got to get out there and get after it while it's still cool. I don't know if your neighbors want you out there at 6 a.m. banging and stuff or not, but I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I would be out there doing it anyway. George says, I like that. A therapist you are. Nah, I don't know about that. Let's see. Keith Stanford's here. Good morning, all. Cool and somewhat clear in New Hampshire. Good. Just calm us down with back fence chit chat. Yeah. I'll tell you what I did yesterday. My morning yesterday started off just like every other morning. Around here it's like that movie Groundhog Day. Everything's pretty much the same within a few minutes here or there. But when I finished the coffee sessions yesterday, I had to go to the UPS store. So I went ahead and ran down to the UPS store and shipped the Gatton kit. And then I thought, well, you know what? It's early enough, and for some reason, I'm hungry again. So I thought I can go by Hardee's, and they're still serving breakfast because it was only like, I don't know, 10:15 or something. And I can get their biscuits and gravy. So I did. And It was delicious. I love their biscuits and gravy. But yeah, today started out kind of weird. Um, I have two. I hate to even say it because she'll start yakking. ALEXAs, those things. I have two of those. One in the kitchen and one in the bedroom. And in the one in the bedroom, every morning at 0600, Joe Bonamassa starts playing Mountain Time. A lot of times I'm already up because of the dogs. But anyway, it goes off at 6 o'clock. And this morning, it was weird because I could faintly hear Joe playing. So I thought was for some reason the volume I must have said volume 1 or something, real low. So I said, Alexa, volume 5 or whatever. Well, it got a little bit louder, but I'm like, well, it's not coming from there in the bedroom. So I thought, well, why is it coming out of the other one in the kitchen? I couldn't figure it out. So then I rolled over and looked at the clock, and the clock was flashing. So evidently the power had gone off, and that must have screwed all kinds of stuff up. So when I got up, I walk into the living room, and I hear the sound of Joe coming out of the sound bar where the TV is. And I'm like, now why is it doing that? So I told Alexa, the one in there at the kitchen, because it's real close to our living room, I said, turn off the sound bar. And she says, well, nah, it's connected to the other thing. So it was the other one in the bedroom. Somehow, I guess when the power went off, came back on, it made everything get jumbled up. So it was deciding to play Joe Bonamassa through the sound bar. So I had to go back in there and tell that one to turn off the sound bar. And then it started working again, right? So I don't know how that got messed up, but that was kind of weird. But yeah, biscuits and gravy. Yeah, well, that when you go to, of course now I don't think their dining area is even open. It's just a drive-up thing. But whenever I go to Hardee's, even now that there's nothing but the drive-through, I always remember back when I used to go there at the drive-up. And when you pull up to the drive-up window to get your food, you can see this little corner of the dining area. And every morning there would be, a bunch of senior people, senior men, gathering and having their coffee, and I'm sure swapping lies and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what this little coffee session reminds me of, except we're all virtual and I can't see any of you. But yeah, it's what it always reminds me of is all the old guys gathering at the Hardee's and getting their coffee and maybe a biscuit or something, sitting around and talking about all the stuff they're not going to do today or whatever. I hope one day they'll get open back. I need to go in there and sit down with them and just listen in, see what kind of tall tales they're telling. I bet that'd be some good listening right there. Doug says, you're going to have to get a new lady to live with. This Alexa is too much trouble. Yeah. It's the only one that talks to me now. Of course, she don't say a whole lot. A lot of times she'll get her little blue light thing going, and I'll see it, and I'll go, hey, Alexa, do you have a notification for me? And then they'll say, yeah, your Amazon stuff was delivered or whatever. Which I don't know why they do that, because I already know, because I'm here. But Bill says, today I'm going to work on Simple Man, Leonard Skinner, the Guitar Day for sure. Awesome. I was playing that on the A thing in there after I got her straightened out. And I listen to that song just about every morning. That's when you really listen to the song, the lyrics, it fits me perfectly. So Javi said he just had sausage, eggs, and bagels with cheese. Looks like tomorrow's biscuits and gravy. Yeah. I love biscuits and gravy. It's right up there as some of my favorite stuff. If somebody says they don't like biscuits and gravy, it's kind of like somebody when they say, well, I don't like dogs. It's kind of like, I better just stay away from you. But speaking of dogs, yeah, I got the old Rock behind me today. I don't know what he's doing in here. Comfort food, yeah, it does make me warm and fuzzy. And fat too. But anyway, so I don't see Bob from across the pond there. Man, he might be working on his trains or something. But I did look at this day in history stuff. Some kind of neat stuff on there today. Better than yesterday, I think. Just read a couple here. On this day in 1940, Adolf Hitler orders preparations for the invasion of England. Yeah, I bet Bob knew that one. In 1945, on this day, the U.S. detonates the first atomic bomb in a test at, I don't even know if I can say that, Alamogordo, somewhere in New Mexico, whatever that town is. And here's some kind of cool stuff here. On this day in 1969, Apollo 11 blast off from Cape Kennedy, Florida, heading for a landing on the moon. Yeah, I remember that. Can you imagine sitting on top of all that power and thinking, man, 2 or 3 days we're gonna be flying around the moon? That's just crazy. And then 30 years later, on this day in 1999, the private plane piloted by John F. Kennedy Jr. is lost over the waters off Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Yeah, I think there's still some, there's always conspiracy theories about stuff like that. But Troy says Bob's looking up some history lessons. Yeah. Jerry says, I have been in the room this week, so the girls can't tell me when package hits the porch. Yeah. I usually leave my my front door open, because I got one of those big glass storm doors, and I like to leave it open so that because Jack likes to lay there right at the door and look out. And there's not a UPS, Amazon, FedEx, mailman. There's not any of those people is going to sneak up on me. Not with these two around. Well, they can sneak up on Rocky. He can't hear that good. But Jack, man, that dude will start barking and raising Cain. And then he knows that when the mailman comes, we have this routine. So he knows when the mailman comes that a few minutes later we're going to get to go to the mailbox. So it's a big deal for him. So he'll start barking, and I'm like, sometimes I get up and look, and I'm like, there's nothing out there. But then a few seconds later, you hear the mail truck come down the street. It's like he hears him over on the next road or something. But Mark said I said that word right. I'm not even going to try to say it again. Alamogordo. Well, it's like Alamo and then Gordo. Alamogordo. I don't know. And Woodstock started 51 years ago. Yeah, good old Woodstock. Funny how they don't have that mentioned here. Of course, a lot of times they don't have stuff here, and then you go to another thing, and they'll have totally different stuff. Oh, here's one. In 1882, Mary Todd Lincoln, the widow of Abe, dies of a stroke. How about that? Yeah, always interesting to read this stuff. I always wonder about the stuff, though, like when they say on this day in 1312 BC, I'm like, how do they know it was that day? When they get that far back, it's like, does anybody really know what day it is? I don't know how they do that. Let's see. Janet says, saw the governor of Georgia has overruled all the mayors and such on the have to wear a mask rule. Yeah, I don't think our governor is a fan of the mask. And that's okay with me. These towns and a bunch of them are requiring it. And of course, and if a store puts up if it's their policy, they can do whatever they want, I guess. So, I'll just be glad when all this mess is over with on November 4th, because, it's like, is that a mask store or a non-mask store? It doesn't matter to me. I don't wear a mask, but if I go to a store that has a sign up or something, it's not a big deal. I go spend my money somewhere else. I'm not going to cause a scene or get crazy like some of those people do. Steven says, I remember President Clinton catching flack about ordering the Navy to look for JFK Jr.'s downed plane. Yeah, it's almost like they didn't want it found. But the girls learned the sound of the UPS. And by the way, if you don't know Jerry Brown, when he says the girls, he's talking about his little dogs. Learn the sound of a UPS truck. If he drives down any street near, I have to open the door and show them he is not stopping here. Yeah, dogs are funny, aren't they? I love them. Way more than people, really. Janet says, way back in those times, they had scribes recording all the important stuff back in the day. But how did they know it was important? Because a lot of times when you do something, you don't really, it's important, but you don't know it until years later. Because at the time, you were just doing it. I don't know. I'll buy that, I guess, Janet. I thought I saw another comment getting ready to pop up here. So I'll get a swig of coffee while I'm waiting. And there it is. Big D says, yeah, our stupid governor That would be the Michigan governor, is afeared. Is afeared? Okay. Imposing $500 fine to people or businesses who don't follow her rules. I just don't know about that. Is it still America? Last time I checked, I just think some of these folks have let some of this power go to their head, man. They think, well, I can just do that, and people don't really care. They're not gonna follow your rules if they don't want to. Mark says, thank the Lord our governor is term limited out. She's almost gone. Yeah. Hope you get a better one. Their moms probably told them what was important. I didn't think of that, Janet. You're probably right. You're probably right. Because moms know everything. Michigan dictator Whitler. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Trump was in town the other day. I told you that, didn't I? He didn't stop by or anything, but he was hanging out a little while, messing up traffic, I'm sure. I heard him say something that one of the radio guys, he was being interviewed, and he was saying, I can't remember his name. I should know his name, but he was the one that interviewed Trump while he was here, and he was talking about how, in order to get to interview Trump, you have to get a COVID-19 test. So this guy's had like 4 or 5 tests, in the past 3 months. But you got to take the test, and then they do like I don't know how they do it, but it's like a 15-minute later they have the results, and then they say, okay, you're clear. You can go get within 6 feet of the president or whatever. Yeah. Javi says, thank God our governor, like Georgia's, follows the lead of the president. Yeah, I'm so over the COVID thing. I really am. And, to me, it doesn't matter. To me, it wouldn't matter if they came out tomorrow and says, you know what? It's gotten so bad. 7 out of the 10 people are now going to die. I'd be like, because they've lied so much. You don't know what to believe anymore. So I don't believe nothing. I don't know. I realize it, there's got to be some cases. It's got to be going on a little bit. But the way they make it out to be, it's like, I just feel like if I had not watched any news or TV or internet or anything, I wouldn't even know it was here. I'd be walking around going, why are all these people wearing masks? Or why are half the people wearing masks? Depends on where you go. Obviously, this morning, just saw the UPS speech that Trump gave in Georgia. All about infrastructure, I-75, Atlanta, etc. But will continue throughout the country. It looks less regulation. Love it. Yeah. Yeah, they were talking about doing something to I-75, probably adding more lanes or something between McDonough, which is where I live, down through Macon, which is about an hour from here, an hour south of here. But Steven says he now knows 4 people with COVID. Well, you're one of the rare. I would say you're in the minority, I guess, because I still don't know anybody personally that has. I've known some people that have gotten sick, like my buddy Jim and even Janet. But, both tests were negative on the COVID. It was other stuff. And I'm not going to get into it now because it's time for me to get out of here. Mark says haven't had a single death. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But one of these times when I get time, or anybody else can do it if they want to, I'd be curious to know what the flu numbers have been the past, because you don't even hear mention the flu hardly anymore. So I'm wondering how many people are getting bad sick and dying, but they just say, well, let's just call that COVID. Might not even been that. All right, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Tomorrow will be Friday, our 204th coffee session. So if you want to get in on that, get you a hot cup of coffee and come on. Otherwise, we'll see you. Bye.